About 10 miles from Cavan, we've come across the most amazing collection. It's called the Pig House Collection. Mrs. Ferris, I really don't know where to begin to talk about it, but where and when did you begin collecting it all?
Well, I began in the sense that it was always a magpie, local people would call me, and I always was interested in all sorts of old things, and I had a lot of lace, and my mother was a person who didn't throw things away, so that I had a good start. And I had everything here in the hot press, really starting with lace and frocks and things like that. I tried to get a room in Cavan to show, to set it up, but it didn't work, and I then asked my husband for this house, which in those days was a pig house. And that's why it's called the Pig House Collection, because of course it isn't, as you see yourself, it isn't a folk museum. I mean, it's advertised very strongly as a folk museum, but of course it isn't a folk museum, it's a collection. And I think perhaps I was tempted to use the word collection because years ago I went to London and was very impressed with the Wallace collection. And the word collection, I think, must have stuck in my mind. So I decided to call it the Pig House Collection. And that's really how I took over. Of course, when I started this, everyone looked at it and said, "Are you mad?" Because the house looked so big and the numbers of things that I had looked so small. But still, I gathered them together. I got a lot of things, of course, from home. When my mother and aunt died, they gave me a lot of, it meant that I got a lot of lace and dresses. And then people coming to visit it in the early days would give me stuff saying, "We have this in the kitchen," or that, or "I never thought you were interested." And of course you had a lot of disappointments. I remember a woman coming and saying, if I'd only known this place was here, I had lovely patchwork quilts. My mother-in-law died, and apparently she didn't like her mother-in-law. And so when the mother-in-law died, instead of her giving them away, she threw them out and burnt them about only a week or something before she was here. And of course I got so disgusted, I said to her, "Don't tell me anymore." I really couldn't take it. But I did get a lot of presents. But then I went round auctions, and if I was in Dublin, I went to the Liberties and various places, to the Liberties Market and the old markets. What was it, the one on the green? And
the Dandelion.
The Dandelion, yes, the Dandelion. And of course it was quite easy in the sense that if I had a few bob in my pocket, I was looking really for things that, by that time I'd set up the museum, and I was looking for things that would interest people, that interested me, but also that would interest people, because not being tied to folk I could buy everything. And if I went on a holiday, which I did a few holidays on the continent, I picked up things that I thought would interest people when I came home. And that's really, of course, it's grown.
Well, I think if I had to choose something myself, I would choose your fabulous cheese dish collection.
I'm very proud of the cheese collection, really. I've got, I think, something over 50 cheese dishes. And I bought those in the early days when it was possible to buy them. At the present time, they're too expensive. You really couldn't buy them. Or I couldn't buy them, but they are very, very nice. And actually, of course, if they were spread out more, you would probably be able to see them better. But where they are, they're a bit close together, but still they're impressive in the sense of seeing them. And most people who come do enjoy them.
Would it be a little bit true to say that it's up for grabs for the right people at what may be the right time now?
I would hope that it would be kept in Cavan, but at this present time it will look as though it won't be, because there's not any move to do anything. And at present I would will it to charities. I have a lot of charities I'm interested in, and I would have it just sold under the hammer to the best, let the best man win. And then it would be dispersed to different museums, because it would be different museums who would come to buy it. But I would like to see it settled up in Cavan. I would like to see a museum start.